Uh, what a day. What a week.
And like that's how you know Jill is recording.
Man, I just can't get it by you anymore, can I?
Nope.
Damn.
That also means I should be quitting my F-Zero race right now, shouldn't I?
Yeah, probably.
Hold up on my lap 2, and I'm going really, really fast. Give me like 1 minute.
But I'm going really fast.
But I'm already on lap 3, so you could do the opening thing already, and I'll be done by the time you're done spewing out your nonsense.
There is no nonsense. I literally just have us like naturally talking about something when I turn recording on.
I'm almost done lap 3. Come on, dude. Already introduced the video. You fail. I'm already done.
Oh my god.
Welcome to Nonstop Debate, everyone. I am J-Man, and that is D-DAWG over there.
Woof. We are talking about a funny girl today.
Ibuki?
No.
Oh, you mean Peko from Trial 2?
No way.
Okay, how about Chiaki?
Nope. She's not funny.
Oh yeah, Sonya then. Your favorite.
Sonya is funny, but no, not Sonya either.
Alright, you lost me. There's no other girls alive.
We're talking about Mahiru Koizumi.
Mari who?
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
You've been rehearsing that joke all night. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
You're funny.
I'm a goddamn riot.
So yeah, we're going to talk about Mahiru today. First and foremost, before we get started, we should probably say where we've been. Things have been rough over here between work and trips to the hospital.
Oh, man.
Certain people.
I am a cripple now.
Uh-huh.
Certified cripple. It's not because of COVID. I got a genetic disease. It really sucks.
Yeah, it's a little rough.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, we're getting there. We're getting there.
But we're back at it again in the Krispy Kreme.
Mm-hmm.
Too bad we're not gonna do your New Year's resolution now. That sucks though. I was really pushing that about like a couple months ago, and then I get fucked. So, yeah.
Yup.
Mm-hmm.
But we are finally finding time again to record and edit. So
He found the time. I found the will.
It's also true.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yep. I mean, that's gonna be your update for them. So now we're gonna talk about the character that I always forget exists. Like I made a joke about it, but I legitimately forget this character exists until she dies.
I kind of agree with everyone on this one. Because, like, I really liked her when I first played Danganronpa 2. And then when she died, I was very sad. And I don't want to say it was, like, a bad move to kill her off so early, but I was also a bit disappointed because she was not the character I expected to go next.
Right.
So,
to be fair, did you expect the killer to be the person to be the next killer?
Also, no.
No.
But that's why it was good. Is because it was two of the characters you did not expect to see go so early.
And that's the only good thing we're going to be talking about Chapter 2 for a long-ass while.
Chapter 2 doesn't have a whole lot of other stuff going on for it.
Those are the highs. Those are the highs, ladies and gentlemen. Those are the highs.
So, let's start with the design here. I really like Mahiru's design, actually.
Boring, plain, outline, couldn't tell her apart.
By the silhouette rule, yeah, she's not that much of a standout.
Put her right next to
compared to the rest of the cast. Like, the rest of the cast is about as boring, honestly.
Even not doing the silhouette rule, she literally, besides the camera on her, it doesn't scream photographer.
Yeah.
At all.
I still think she's cute though. Photographer, I wouldn't say really has a specific like style of clothing,
Right.
but yeah,
Yeah.
the design goes well with the character, I guess is what I'm trying to say, with how like serious and like smart she is.
Right.
Like that was one of the things that really drew me to her when I first played, was that like she's not afraid to like when Hajime's being a dipshit, she's not afraid to go, "Hey, dipshit, what the fuck? Focus." Like, we don't really get a lot of characters like that in this series, and I really enjoyed it while it was here. So,
About Mew though.
Miyu is fun, but Miyu isn't like. I guess what I'm trying to say is like team player. Mahiru was like in it for everyone, even though some people like annoyed her. But
Cries of Kaito. Cries of Kaede.
no, Kaito was definitely the same, for sure.
Yeah.
Unless you were Kokichi, then it was fuck him, he can rot. But
Suichi Breeze. I agree wholeheartedly. Kichi Breeze. All right, this guy's wrong. Listen here, you little shit.
this guy needs to die, like right now. But no, like, not counting the protagonist, obviously, I'd say Mahiru is really one of the only characters I can think of that, like...
Well, Hajime wasn't a team player.
Yeah.
Hajime was definitely not a team player.
I would say, like, unobjectively, she still cared about everybody. Not counting protagonists, because Kaede definitely falls in there, too. And so does Makoto. But
her only one and redeeming quality was that she was able to make friends with the worst character in Danganronpa.
Yeah, and it almost doesn't even seem by choice. It was just kind of like she was the only one who was nice enough to step up for it, and then she just kind of attached herself to Mahiru.
Yeah, and then she dies.
Mm-hmm. So, I will agree with Joey here, our friend Joey, who has been in a couple videos on the channel already, is a huge fucking Mahiru simp. He swears up and down that there's so much wasted potential with this character. And honestly, I have to agree, because she had a lot of good things going for her. I mean, it was early to kill her off. She had a lot of potential that we never get to see because she's killed.
I agree, but I was never a simp, and I never really cared about her in the beginning, so I'm not too beat up about it. But in hindsight, yeah.
Yeah. She had a lot of good stuff going for her. And there's actually, I read through some of the trivia before we started recording, and I will say there is a point of trivia that actually goes towards this, of her being wasted potential. But I'll save that for when we get to it, because I think it's a fun little bit of trivia about her character. Some of you probably know it already.
Did I hear it when you were mumbling about a couple minutes ago?
Nope, okay, but kept it to myself.
I like surprises.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Mahiru is a castmate. She's not protag, she doesn't kill anybody, she just gets killed.
Not true, because she also killed, didn't she, like, indirectly kill Fuyuhiko's sister? Was that her?
She was... I think trying to think of who it was. I don't remember who the actual killer was.
Like, because, like, the anime. Yeah. I know you watched the anime, so...
I don't remember who the actual killer was, but I know Mahiru at least was, like, friends with Fuyuhiko's sister.
Right.
Because she and Hajime were both in the same reserve course, and Mahiru was friends with her. So she and Hajime had met beforehand, before they all became Ultimate Despairs, because she was friends with Fuyuhiko's sister in the reserve course. So she had encountered Hajime a couple times, because I think they sat like right next to each other in the reserve course.
Is that an anime retcon? Because I don't think
that's purely in the Despair arc. Yeah.
Okay.
Danganronpa 3.
Because I'm gonna say, I'm like, I don't think Hajime's ever met Mahiru. He would have like made a mention like it would be Sayaka.
Well, remember, their memories are erased in Danganronpa 2, so they wouldn't have known anyway.
Well, yeah, but I was gonna say, as long as it's like pre.
Yeah, no.
I'm just It's not a
like
science.
the way Hajime gets introduced in Despair Arc is like he runs into Chiaki and they have their moment of like quote unquote love at first sight, whatever. And then he goes to the reserve course where he's supposed to be. Mm-hmm. And then that's where we get introduced to Fuyuhiko's little sister, who is just like her big brother, is all I'll say. But, yeah, Mahiru comes into the class because she's friends with her, and she and Hajime, like, have a quick, like, I think they talk for a quick minute, but it's not very long and extended, so.
Right.
But, yeah, that's about all I can remember off of that. She gets bonked in the head real hard by a baseball bat, dies immediately. If I remember right, the Monokuma file says that she died like instantly from the hit. So
well, she got hit in the head by Peko, and
yeah, she got hit in the head by the ultimate sword fighter wielding a blunt instrument that's basically sword shaped. So I mean, yeah,
yeah,
that's your
she
first.
Died.
If you didn't know who the killer was, that's literally your first like in your face clue. Is that she died from? She literally died on impact from the bat hitting her head, and it's like.
And there's
it's the same kind of clue in Trigger Happy Havoc when you find out Sayaka's wrist is broken and she got struck by that dull gold katana. Right. That was one of my first clues towards it being Leon. I was like, who else has the like batting strength to just shatter someone's wrist with a blunt object like that?
And there's only 3 people that actually fit that description: Akane, Nekomaru, and Peko. And Nekomaru and Akane have a fucking alibi.
They have a solid alibi because they're out in the beach fucking wrestling.
Even though Akane came in with a bloodied head. That doesn't stop fucking the goblin from just steering the conversations away from the obvious.
Yep. We'll get to her in another episode, though.
Can't wait to rip her a new asshole.
That's going to be a fun one.
Oh, yes. Universally hated.
Oh, yeah. Personality-wise, we touched on her already a little bit.
Raging feminist. Not as bad as Tenko, though.
I guess. I wouldn't even really call her that. Tenko is just, like, straight up throws degenerate male around like it's a slur.
Okay, Dustin.
Mahiru just kind of casually, like... It, like, she'll try and, like, get the idea through your skull, and when Hajime still is like, what is she talking about? She just kind of like, boys are so dumb, and then she just kind of struts away. I never took that as feminism. That's just old school, like...
That's second wave feminism. That's like the most like appropriate form of feminism. That's second wave feminism. What Tenko is third wave feminism.
I guess I just don't attach terms like that to that kind of behavior because it's much more normal to me.
Right.
So.
Meanwhile, I'm all about my labels, so...
Yeah, I like her a lot though. Despite the whole like boys are so dumb attitude that she's got going on, you can tell that she actually really cares about everybody, including Hiyoko, and no one likes Hiyoko. So, yeah, I don't know. I do remember at the beginning of the game she tells you that she's not like that into her photography anymore. It's just what she does because it's what she's good at. And we don't normally mention free time events because they're not canon. But I will mention for Joey's sake, because he's going to be mad if I don't, that if you do her free time events, you find out that she actually has a huge fucking crush on Hajime. And you kind of help her get back into her photography with her free time events. So that's fun.
This is the price we pay for simpage. There, you happy now, Joey? We mentioned the free time event now.
Yeah, there you go. It doesn't change anything. She still fucking died.
Don't DM us saying that she's a great character. Please, stop. I beg of you.
Most of the cast in this game are fine. Honestly. They're about, I'd say, except for, like, 2 characters in this cast, most of them are pretty on par with Trigger Happy Havoc.
I would say there's actually a couple that are...
There's a couple more bad apples in this bunch than there was in the first game.
Fucking Hiyoko.
But,
fucking Hiyoko.
I mean, like, all the other characters that are fine are about in line with everyone else from Trigger Happy Havoc.
I still think Triple have like the stronger cast.
Oh yeah,
Because,
yeah, for sure, for sure.
yeah,
They
for
just
sure.
didn't have the bombshell fucking like success character that was Mr. Komida.
Yeah.
So, like,
Literally, this game is entirely carried by Nagito. Like, holy shit.
if Makoto was like the beta version of Nagito. Nagito was like a character perfected. Makoto was like 2 details off from being perfect, and then they were like, what if we just tweaked this? And then Nagito just like exploded like a supernova, and they were like, whoa.
And then we get to V3, and then everyone is great except
Everyone
for
is supernova except for one character
one.
who is the polar opposite of a supernova.
He's a raging black hole of incest and seesaw.
Oh god.
Very funny meme though. Very funny memes.
Oh yeah, yeah. He's ironically fun.
Right.
But yeah. Personality wise, I think Mahiru is pretty solid. I wish there was more to her, but there's not because she dies in chapter 2.
Guys, you just gotta watch the anime to see more My Hero. Shut up.
Honestly, the anime doesn't add that much to her either. You just kind of get some insight on what her involvement with Fuyuhiko's sister was.
Right.
That's
not to
about
mention,
it.
when we're judging the critique of the game, we're basing the merits of the game, not outside material.
Yeah. That's why we don't talk about the anime all that often.
And most of the time,
to
we
be
talk
honest,
about
after watching the anime, I can tell you it didn't really add a whole lot to most characters anyway. So
right. So that means Fuyuhiko's still the best character in Danganronpa 1 as a side character.
in
Danganronpa 2.
Yeah.
It's late.
Yeah. I don't know. In the game, you go through like context clues of her involvement in Fuyuhiko's sister's death, and the anime is more like directly shows you at the moments where that's like relevant, because it happens during that time. So, I mean, it makes sense.
I mean, in the game, they literally give you a photo of all the characters.
Yeah. So it's like, I get it, but for Mahiru specifically, it didn't really add anything to her. It didn't really add anything to anybody except for just showing more of like who they were before the game and when they were all friends, and then how they became ultimate despairs. Character-wise, it didn't really add anything to anybody that we didn't already know. So, even Nagito, like, if anything, it just kind of like clarified and added to Kamakura.
Right.
I would say most of the like knowledge of Kamakura actually comes from the anime, not the game, as a character, because you get to see him in like full bloom in the anime. So
Also, not to mention they make Junko a better character.
yeah, she's actually pretty enjoyable as a villain in the anime as opposed to the games. So I will give it that. But you know, is what it is.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
I don't know. If I just sit here and I'm just saying I don't really have much. I don't have strong opinions about Nai, one way or the other. I just don't have strong opinions. It's just, when I'm like one of those guys. If I don't have a strong opinion, I'm just kind of like to them.
Yeah.
And this is like the reason. I'm like the same with Chihiro. That was the same. I didn't have strong opinions about Chihiro. The fact that he was a boy was pretty funny.
Yeah. It's a fun twist. It's a good twist in the mystery.
It's a fun twist that I almost fucked up for Dylan when he was first playing.
It's one of those eureka moments when you're trying to solve a case that like that idea turns over in your brain and everything clicks into place and you're like, ah. So
Too bad there's no like grand eureka moment in this game except for chapter 5.
yeah, we don't have
There's
a
like-
ton of them in this game except for chapter
Right.
5. So
Chapter 2 has a syndrome of having literally this is what we call Fuyuhiko's character development chapter, because
Yeah.
literally no one else matters.
not really, yeah. This chapter is all about Fuyuhiko's growth as a character.
Yeah. Yeah, Twilight Syndrome, Murder Syndrome cases.
Stupid fucking video game that you gotta play in the video game.
literally the murderer of Fuyuhiko's sister. Literally,
Yep.
Peko the murderer. She is literally the right-hand assassin of Fuyuhiko.
Yep.
The execution itself is more Fuyuhiko-centered than Peko-centered.
Yeah. Fuyuhiko takes, like, almost all the lion's share of everything in this chapter.
Right.
Except for the wasted hour of gameplay that Peko takes trying to be Shining Justice.
Right. Fuyuhiko's breakdown was pretty good.
Yeah.
Props to I can't remember his name, but Fuyuhiko's voice actor in the English. You did really like holy fuck.
Yeah, I can't remember his name either. We'll probably cover it next episode because Fuyuhiko's after
Same
this.
voice actor as Kokichi.
Oh, right. Duh. Yeah, I can't remember his name off the top of my head.
I want to say it's Brian Drummond, but I don't want to be wrong, so...
Yeah, I have no idea.
Right.
So. Alright, well, Ego Theater?
Yes.
Okay. And the curtains close. Ooh.
Oh god, it's dark!
And now it's time for Ego Theater.
So, you want to quit your video game addiction to shitty MOBAs.
I do?
You do, because oh my god, I have finally quit Dota 2. Welcome to my AA meeting. I have quit MET.
Oh yeah, you and
Sid. Literally, okay, so here's who quit
did
Dota.
Everyone quit Dota?
We all quit Dota.
Oh man.
We all like had an intervention and we're like, we need to quit Dota. We're not having fun anymore. This is bad. I'm in the process of selling over about 1,500 worth of items in right now. And yeah, I'm slowly getting money off of that.
He's gonna be able to buy all the video games.
I've been sober for 2 weeks. I've uninstalled Dota. I haven't even think about installing it again.
Sober.
It's really bad, man. It was like me, Dustin, Noah, and Scoop will all agree it's like a crack cocaine addiction. It's bad. You just need to play that, man. You just need to get that fix. You need to be able to win one game of Dota 2 or League of Legends or whatever. You gotta be good, man. And then once you get that high, you're good for the rest of the day. Until you realize you're just like making just constantly angry all the fucking time. And then but then once you get that fix, you're just like, I want another win though. Make me feel even better. But then you lose and then you just get angrier and angrier and it just kind of sucks. It's a spiraling circle of depression. Don't start MOBAs. Don't get into MOBAs. I was always during high school, it was the worst thing I probably ever did was probably be like, yo, we gotta play some Dota, man. It's gonna be great. It's a fun ass game. We can play together.
Not even once.
Yeah, not even once. This probably goes into Overwatch and hero shooters, which is why I'm like on the myth about playing Paladins, but at the same time, I'll be playing with friends, and I'm pretty good at FPSs compared to MOBAs, so.
Paladins is brain dead easy.
Yeah.
Baby's first hero shooter.
Right. The only MOBA I would say you should pick up and play would probably be Battle Right.
Battle Right is
that's not real. Yeah, that's because it's not really a MOBA. It's like only like 5 to 10 minute game, and you're just in and out, in and out. You don't really get that. It's
2-on-2. It's anywhere between 1-on-1, 2-on-2, or 3-on-3 arena battle.
All right. It's all about the team fight, baby.
Yeah, it's all about the battling against other characters, not taking objectives. There's less strategy in like map control, and more strategy in like how to quickly kill other people.
Too bad the developers made it go down the shit.
I wouldn't say they did that. They took a risk and it just didn't pay off. Because the game already wasn't like that popular, but battle royales were big at the time. So they were like, let's try and make a battle royale like side mode for the game. and it just didn't pay off. And the game never picked up pace, and they had to stop production on it.
It didn't become a side mode. It didn't become a free content update, which they promised that it would be a free content update, and you had to pay $20 for the battle royale.
Yeah. So,
and that's when everyone was just like, nah, fuck you, dude. And then
I think they would have liked to do it free, but they just didn't have the money. They had to like make it paid for, otherwise they would have had to stop working on it, which they eventually did because no one wanted to pay for a battle royale.
Right.
So,
unfortunately for me, I've been sober 2 weeks, but Dustin broke his streak today. He started playing League of Legends again, and he was just like, "No, Justin, no, you fall into the dark side. We promise we'll get all off together, man."
That sucks, man.
My advice: if you're gonna be addicted to fun games like Devil May Cry,
like hell yeah, brother.
Yeah, or Dark Souls, or like JRPGs or RPGs in general, things that you would play with your friends. Be addicted to Mario Party, for God's sake, but don't be addicted to MOBAs, like God.
Yeah, if you're gonna be addicted to a MOBA, go play Battle Right.
Yeah.
It's the only one worth playing, honestly.
And you'll find the other 30 addicted people. You may find us, depending on the day.
Depending on the day. We go and play it again every now and then, but we usually have to play against bots because there's not enough people online for us to find games.
Right. But if you do play online and you do find us, beware of the Thorn and Blossom combo. We will wreck your shit.
Thorn is so
Unless you're a Battle Right veteran. And if you are, please don't touch me. I'm only a cute little deer girl. Please bully the giant tree.
God. We should play some of that after we're done recording.
Oh, I'll be down with that.
It'd be fun. Oh, man. Or Devil May Cry. Get addicted to Devil May Cry. I just re-downloaded Devil May Cry 5 again. I'm gonna go grind Bloody Palace with Virgil some more.
Right.
Virgil's so fun, man. I've been playing Devil May Cry for years and years, ever since the third one. I got the third one for my PlayStation 2 when I was a kid, and I played it, and I was like, damn, this game fucking rocks. But I was never that good at it until I got older and smarter, and I was like, oh, this is how you play the game.
I can lock on.
I played through it and beat it until I unlocked Virgil, and I was like, oh, sick. And then I never played it with Virgil. And then I played through 4, but before the special edition came out, so I never got to play Virgil in that one either. I beat the game, and then when the special edition came out, I was like, oh, you can play Virgil in that one, that's cool, and then I never went back and played it again. And then when 5 came out, I was like, much older, played 5, I was like, this game fucking rocks. When does Virgil come out? And then when Virgil finally came out, I picked up Virgil and played him. Dude, I have never had a play style in any Devil May Cry game jive with me more than DMC5 Virgil.
Makes you want to go back and probably play all the special editions of the older versions, huh?
Maybe. I look at gameplay and I'm like, God, he looks so janky and bad compared to 5.
No. Devil May Cry 3 is still the broken ass. It's literally playing him as the boss fight mode.
I literally looked up. I looked at a video that was like the evolution of Judgment Cut End in Devil May Cry 3 through 5. His Judgment Cut End in Devil May Cry 3 looks fucking stupid.
It's a PlayStation 2 game!
It's just a little slashy slash that goes in a big circle around the screen and then stops in the center and then it turns back into Virgil. And it's like, dude, that looks so dumb. At least in Devil May Cry 4 it looks like it does in 5. It's just a little less visual on the like in the air. It's more just like a bunch of slashes on the ground. It still looks great.
Confirmed, if Dylan picked up Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3, he would abuse the fuck out of Virgil.
I would literally play Virgil not because he's busted, which I'm pretty sure he is, but because I like Virgil.
He is the definitive top tier, Dylan.
Oh, well, yeah, I would definitely play him. Not well, mind you. I am not good at arcade fighters, but
That's fine. You do one combo and you kill about 90% of the cast.
Fuck yeah, dude. I just gotta get good at doing combos, which I'm not good at.
Oh no, that combo being X Factor, Devil Trigger, Super, and then they're dead.
Yeah, I literally don't know how to do any of that, dude.
Okay, it's quarter circle back. Okay, you press all 4
You've
buttons.
already
quarter circle
lost
Fuck. Get addicted to fighting games. That way you'd be smarter and when you play video games.
Hey, there we go.
Yeah.
Fuck them over there, bro. Get addicted to fighting games.
Because at least when you fail, it's your fault and only your fault. Unless you're playing Marvel vs. Capcom 3, then it's definitely Virgil's fault. And if you're playing Virgil, it's definitely your fault because you're bad with Virgil.
Damn, alright, jeez. Let's go back to the main show before you hurt somebody's feelings.
And if you play Dante, you're a dirty, stinking motherfucker. Piece of shit, degenerate, whorehouse, skank-lovey, skunk-fucking piece of shit.
Okay, wow. I
I
thought
was
you
swearing for 3
cut
minutes.
off on purpose for me to put the edit in.
Well,
And
no,
then you
I was
picked it
swearing
back
for
up
3
again.
minutes. No, I was swearing for 3 minutes. You're the one who cut me all the way up. What are you talking about?
Brother.
Brother.
They
Who's
can
gonna believe-
they can choose who they want to believe. The guy who's editing this podcast, or the guy who's not editing this podcast.
Well, it really goes into my favorite, doesn't it?
Okay, wow.
I completely forgot we're going to talk this. Let me pull up the show notes real quick. Oh,
God.
okay.
Alright, so, getting back into Mahiru, with how well she was written, which I think we have, again, already touched on, because the longer we do this podcast, the more and more we go off track and just talk about shit early. But it's whatever. I know you joke that she's forgettable, but honestly, she stuck with me pretty well. I think most of the characters did, but that's just because I'm a big character guy.
Right.
And I'm really good at remembering, like, certain things about them. She really stood out to me.
For me, it's like it's better to be forgettable than being like, "Oh, you're here," than being a character that I loathe and despise, or like just don't like in general, like Hifume, Leon, Hyoko.
I think even like the quote unquote hated characters in Trigger Happy Havoc, we still gave like negative scores because like Hifumi is like, we love to hate him. He's still an enjoyable character.
Right.
Hyoko is like the only character I can think of off the top of my head that we just absolutely fucking despise. She has nothing redeeming going on at all.
Right.
Honestly, she should have died chapter 2, and we should have had Mahiru live until chapter 3.
Yes, I 100% wholeheartedly agree. Then maybe Mahiru would have done something.
Well, she probably would have had a lot more, she would have had more time and space to grow as a loved character. Which, there's plenty of people out there who like her. I'm not saying she's not. I love Mahiru. It's just she dies so early, and she had so much good stuff, like, started. She had a good foundation as a character, and it never goes anywhere because she gets killed, and it sucks.
God forbid Hyoko's not going to use it.
Yeah! They had a great opportunity with Hyoko to actually turn her into a bit of a character that we would give a shit about, but she just doubles down on being a bitch. It makes it really hard for us to enjoy
too,
her.
of all people.
Yeah! Leave Mikon alone, bro. She ain't do shit. All she did was fall over.
I can already hear Liam in the background being like, good, Mikon deserves it. Bitch, you fucking...
Bitch, she don't deserve shit except for love.
She deserves all the care and affection and the hugs in the world.
And a, like, coat made out of soft pillows and memory foam for when she falls over.
Right.
God. But yeah, I would say Mahiru was written pretty well. For what we had.
Yeah.
There, I know, you don't agree, but let me put it to you this way. You have focus and memory on characters that you enjoy, which is why V3's cast is so prominent, is because literally all those characters are bangers.
Yeah. But that also goes. That can also go both ways, Dylan. I always focus on characters that I like and hate. But being forgettable is not a bad thing. It's just that I'd rather have her be forgettable than being a character that I just find objectively bad.
Yeah.
Because a throwaway, yeah, she's pretty much a throwaway in the story, which is fine. It's fine to be a throwaway. Look at Sayaka. It's fine to be a throwaway.
Sayaka had purpose, though.
Yeah.
Mahiru, I guess, arguably also has purpose, but it's like Sayaka's kind of like furthered the story at the very beginning of Danganronpa. Mahiru was just kind of like the kill that started the Fuyuhiko development arc.
Right.
Which I guess is also important, but I don't know. It could have been someone else.
Yeah. It feels like Fuyuhiko should have been the protagonist of the story, like fucking hell.
TBH, yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking... Honestly, they could have very easily, because, like, Fuyuhiko's sister is, like, a bitch, to put it loosely. And, like, I feel like she and Hiyoko could have, like, just as easily have been friends instead of her and Mahiru. And that could have just as easily have switched Hiyoko and Mahiru's places in the kill list. And we could be talking about Hiyoko today instead of Mahiru.
Right.
But like,
and Hiyoko was like, well, she was a cock goblin, but at least she made Mahiru better.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know.
Spoiler alerts, that would have played her score 3 instead of the 0 that she's gonna get.
I don't know. It's weird because it's like there's nothing inherently wrong with Mahiru herself. It's just a lot of the stuff that rotates around her is like not great.
Not great. Because you got the fucking...
You've got Hiyoko, you've got the like convoluted video game bullshit, you've got Peko and her Shining Justice bullshit. It's like a lot of Mahiru's focus as a character, because that's another thing I've always liked, is that a lot of the time these characters in Danganronpa, when they die, they get some sort of focus on who they were during the trial and like how things led to their death. Everything about Mahiru just kind of gets overshadowed by all the other bullshit in this chapter.
Yeah, sometimes it's better than others. Like, for example, Mondo and Chihiro, literally the lore dump. Yeah.
You get a huge lore dump, and it's a bit much, but it's like you could easily tone that down in like future chapters, you know?
Right.
And it's like, I'd rather have that than just have like, Fuyuhiko was secretly part of this murder, but I'm not going to know that until halfway through, if not a little closer to the end, because I'm just trying to sort through the fucking video game and Shining Justice and all this other bullshit. I'm trying to solve the murder in the video game before I can even get to Mahiru, and by the time I get to Mahiru, we're focused on Fuyuhiko.
And Hiyoko's steering the conversation in the wrong way.
Yeah, it's like... we never get to talk about Mahiru, and I feel like that's partly why she's not as memorable as the rest of the cast.
It's literally like, I keep telling people, like, oh yeah, chapter 2, that is the character where Fuyuhiko gets really, really good.
Yeah.
And
you don't think of it as the chapter where Mahiru dies, because it's not that chapter. It's the chapter where Fuyuhiko, like, kicks off.
Right.
It's just like in V3, there's the chapter, like, Kokichi's pretty inactive for the first, like, 3 chapters, and then chapter 4, he kicks it into high gear.
Right.
Like, he gets more active as the game goes on, but it's not until chapter 4 that he really, like, takes center stage. It's like Fuyuhiko's the same way in this game. It's just hits in chapter 2, and it completely overshadows everything else.
You can't have Nagito in this chapter because he was locked in the closet for like 75% of it.
Oh yeah, because they tried to kill somebody.
Yeah, they literally. Still though, feed me, Hajime. Wait, Hajime.
God.
Yeah, can't literally have the guy who was the star in the last chapter because he fucking walked away in a closet, and he's in cap for chapter 3. That's 2 chapters where you basically don't have any Komaeda.
Yeah. But yeah, that's my final verdict on how well Mahiru is written. And this is going to carry over into Impact also, because she doesn't have a whole lot of impact. And it's because, like, again, she herself as a character is good. She has the impact to make herself, like, memorable. Like, I enjoyed her personality, and I spent a couple free times with her before she died, and I was very upset to see her go. But it's just all this shit that's in chapter 2, and it all goes towards Fuyuhiko and his build as a character, which is good, and I enjoy that. It's just that she gets so overshadowed by everything else in this chapter that she just kind of like falls to the wayside in terms of the story, and you kind of forget that she ever died.
Because then it's all about the Twilight Murder Syndrome, and then just the fucking...
You spend
like
a good
everyone...
portion of the trial trying to prove Hiyoko innocent. You spend a good portion of it focused on Fuyuhiko, and then you finally get Peko under it, and then you know it's Peko, and then she pulls the Shining Justice shit, which wastes even more time.
Right.
And Hiyoko's over here crying that Mahiru died, but no one cares because she's a little goblin, and no one's listening to the shit she's saying.
She keeps still being really, really mean for Mikon for no apparent fucking reason.
She gets zero character development. You would think that moving forward, she would like take some of the stuff she learned from Mahiru to like be nicer and more patient and to just try a little harder. And she would take that and grow as a character, but no, she just stays the same throughout the entirety of the game. And this Danganronpa 2 has such a bad habit of just completely regressing character growth, and I hate it.
Right.
This is just one example. Akane is like the biggest offender in this game, I think.
Oh my god.
I have no idea what they were trying to do with her. She's just not a great character, man. She just doesn't grow. She never changes.
The characters, I can name all the characters that grow on one hand. Gundam, Fuyuhiko, Hajime.
Yeah. I'd argue Nekomaru gets a little bit of growth, but not much. He gets turned into a joke halfway through the game, so...
Maybe Soda.
Maybe. Maybe. Yeah. I don't know.
That's a big maybe.
It's rough, man. I wish that... Because, again, the cast in this game is great. They've got a lot of fun things going on. A lot of them are very recognizable. None of them are as good as Nagito. We're not talking about Nagito. Nagito might as well be in V3. He's great. He shouldn't be in this game, is what I'm saying. But like
he eclipses all of Danganronpa with his fucking shit-eating grin and super crazy eyes.
But like the rest of the cast here in Danganronpa 2, besides Hiyoko, the rest of the cast here is all right. Some of them are great. Some of them are less than great. Some of them are actually pretty dang good. But it's like the majority of them never get any like, except for maybe like 2 characters like Fuyuhiko and Nagito, like none of them really get a chance to like shine and spread.
Well, Gundam did show. Gundam did get like his small bit of shine.
Gundam gets he gets a small moment. Chiaki, I guess, gets a moment, but I don't think it's really like a meaningful one, honestly.
Discounting Super Saiyan Hajime?
Hajime doesn't count. He's a protag. The protags are all excluded from these kind of discussions because they obviously get like they get the lion's share of the character development most of the time.
Do we count Kaede?
No. That's why I said most of the time. But yeah, there's just so many like weird writing decisions in Danganronpa 2, and I don't know what I don't know what the idea was behind any of them.
Right.
Because it's like...
It's literally Mahiru, Mahiru is Beta Tenko.
Yeah, but it's in like a less haha funny, like ironically overdone way.
Right.
Because Tenko, I feel like they overdid her to that extent for the sake of like her humor, but then because when you
she gets a really good moment. She gets a good moment
because like when you meet Tenko and she starts throwing around degenerate mail left and right, and then you see her funny sprite, you know which one I'm talking about, the really weird fucking smile face thing that she makes. I hate that sprite so much. She makes that face, she's throwing around the word degenerate mail, she's just being a bitch, and you're just like, oh, you're terrible, gotcha. And it lowers your expectations on her, so that later, when she actually starts being, a fucking human being, you're like, oh, your expectations get exceeded, because you think that she's just going to be a cunt the whole time.
Right.
So it's like, oh, she's actually cool. And then before she dies, there's like a lot of potential there for a really great character moment that they, again, don't take, and that makes me kind of sad. But it's not as big a fender as Danganronpa 2. Yeah. So, I don't know, man. This series has got a ton of weird writing decisions like that, where it's like the
Right.
characters could have been so much better, and they just weren't for like one weird dumb reason.
Mhm.
But Mahiru is weird because I feel like it's not anything that she does as a character. It's just all the shit around her that just kind of like eclipses her.
The only time I think about Mahiru's impact is Joey's immediate reaction when he ever sees his Mahiru dead. He's like, "No,
Dude, when
fuck
he
this game.
he
fuck
saw
this game,
Mahiru
fuck this
dead,
game."
he literally quit playing the game for the day. He didn't even start the investigation, and we were only like 20 minutes into his game session that day.
Yeah,
He had to take like a 2-hour break from his computer. He left the Discord call. He stopped streaming. He took like a 2-hour break to cry, and then he came back and continued playing. But he was not fucking happy about it.
he was absolutely pissed.
He was destroyed as a person, like emotionally. We
Not-
witnessed the breaking of a man that day, and it was not pretty.
If that was the breaking, the Kaede reaction was the obliteration. Reduced to atoms of a man.
Oh god.
A shell of his former self. We were all like that, except me, because I'm kind of psychotic, and I was laughing maniacally. I was like, I can't believe they actually fucking did it.
God. Oh, jeez. Alright, well, you got anything you want to add to the how well she's written or the impact, Jared? They kind of go hand in hand with this character
Yeah.
because of the way she's handled.
Yeah, just for the love of God, please, gut the Twilight Night Syndrome case, for God's sake. That's all I will have to say.
Chapter
Like,
2 is so long in Danganronpa 2, and it's not a good long. It's a drag long.
right. The only time he gets a drag long like that will be in Chapter 4, but mainly because the fucking Funhouse is a goddamn complicated piece of shit.
Yeah. I appreciate that they tried to like mix it up and do different and new interesting things that went with the whole like big twist of the game in Danganronpa 2, but I feel like a lot of it didn't really pay off. But you know,
Besides,
that's
what
okay.
is it?
That's okay.
Like, and I come back in the main state. Besides, why it doesn't matter? Because besides one character, all of these characters actually technically live.
Yeah. So, you know. And there's ways that you can build on them in the future. I mean, that's what the anime kind of tried to do, I guess. But considering you were splitting 2 entire arcs and playing them back to back, most of their arc in the Despair arc for Danganronpa 3 again is just like the stuff you already know about how they became the Ultimate Despairs. There's new additions like the Ultimate Animator and his part in it, and the way Junko came across everything and how all the plans fell into place and all that. But I mean, again, other than the way the real Chiaki, how she was as a person and how she died, like, there isn't really anything new there either. So, You mostly get to just see this class be themselves before they get turned into monsters. And you get to see a little bit of the Despairs in action, but that's it.
I still think the first games class was better than the second games cast.
I think it's just that a lot of people go to the second class first because they have a lot more of them out there between like the game and the anime.
And let's not be frank. You say the second game is the best cast because Komaina's in it. One character does not make the entire cast make.
He carries the game, yes. He does not make up for the rest of the cast problems.
Yeah. What do you think is like he's like the only 10 out of 10 characters in the second game. Meanwhile, V3 has like what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5
Most of
maybe?
the cast, honestly, besides maybe like 2 or 3.
Are really high up there.
Yeah. So. Yeah, no. It is what it is.
It is what it is.
It's still not like... I mean, again, if you enjoy Danganronpa 2 more than the first and third game, that's fine. We're just a couple of assholes on the internet. Our opinion does not matter. It shouldn't affect yours at all. Just because we don't like 2. I mean, I do like 2. honestly.
I like 2.
I like all 3 of the games. I just
I do
think
too,
that out
but
of like writing and story wise, and in terms of like character development, the second one is the weakest by far.
It's like I keep saying this to people. Like, just because I like something doesn't mean it's above all criticism.
Yeah.
Like, for example, one of my favorite animes of all time is Needless, and if I objectively grade that anime is a 2 out of 10. It's fucking garbage, but I can't help it because I fucking love that shit.
Yeah.
It's super garbage. I love it. Just because but if you got to judge things on their quality, though. You can love things for what they are, but the things that doesn't mean they're above criticism. They can be better. Everything can always be better.
Yeah.
Like, for example, to make Nagito better in the second game, don't shove him in a closet for a chapter. And don't encap it for a chapter.
Yeah, I think it was fine in Chapter 2 to, like, turn the heat on him down a bit, but then Chapter 3, he's also out of commission, and it's like, alright, man. And then Chapter 4, he gets a moment to shine in Chapter 4 when you get to play as him and do the final dead room, but, like,
right.
For the first half of the game, he's pretty MIA for one reason or another.
Right.
Because he's not even that active in Chapter 1 because he's working behind the scenes. It's not out in the open that he's a crazy piece of shit yet, so, I mean... You know.
Until the ball drops, and then he just gets fucking axed for about 4 to 5 hours of game time.
Yeah. So.
And then most of the time, literally the cases are literally just bringing him up to speed because he has no idea what the fuck is going on.
When the trial starts, he's like, "All right, so where are we at?" Everyone's got to catch him up first.
Yeah, I've literally been in the closet this entire time. Where are we at?
Yeah. All right, well, let's move on to trivia before we go over time here.
Yeah.
Her last name literally translates to Little Fountain, while her first name means midday or broad daylight. That's fun.
Japanese are weird.
Well, I like that a lot of their names have like meaning that relates to them as people.
Oh yeah.
So, Mahiru shares the same birthday with Hina from Trigger Happy Havoc. Very cool. I did not know that. Similar to the victim in the second chapter of Trigger Happy Havoc, Mahiru was also killed instantly via blunt force trauma to the head. Chihiro died from Mondo smacking him over the head.
Yeah.
Weight.
Which one do I believe died more instantly? Probably Chihiro.
Definitely Chihiro, yeah. Metal bats are usually like hollow on the inside to like go for the lightweight.
Yeah.
Weights, no. No.
That person's Chihiro should have like a head of jelly.
Yeah. In Danganronpa 3 Despair Arc, this is what we've been talking about the whole video. It's revealed that Mahiru and Sato, Fuyuhiko's little sister, had gone to the same middle school prior to attending Hope's Peak Academy. Mahiru appeared to have no memory of her friend while in the Neo World program, so because of this, it's possible that all of her memories of Sato were erased for unknown reasons. So.
But yet they keep the Fuyuhiko and Pekos.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's weird.
You can't be that picky.
And this is the last bit of trivia. This is the one that I thought was most interesting. This one, I think, kind of reiterates how, like, strong she had a foundation of her character for. Kodaka revealed that Mahiru would be a good protagonist of a Danganronpa 3 spin-off due to her serious personality. She would probably think about how she and the former members of Ultimate Despair have to carry their sins.
I could buy that.
Yeah. I was down with that. I was like, that would be really interesting. And yeah, I mean, if anyone out of the Danganronpa 2 cast of like the Ultimate Despairs...
It's not going to be Hajime.
Yeah, I was like, if anyone had to take up that like leader role after Hajime's gone, I could see Mahiru doing it, honestly. Either her or Fuyuhiko.
Like I set it up, like it can't be Hajime again. Like no, like this guy is done. He's complete. He's completed his arc. He went Super Saiyan.
Or they could do something kind of like Ultra Despair Girls. If they do a spin-off game like that, they could have maybe a new protagonist, like we did with Makoto's little sister, but you could have Mahiru fill in that, like, Toko spot. You know?
You know what they should do? They should put Hina and Yasuhiro as the Deuteragonist, and they're trying to help the remnants of Despair. That way we have some more things on the Yasuhiro and Hina, because let's face it, I didn't even watch the anime. I didn't even watch the anime, but I know from Dylan's disappointment, they got fuck and all.
I can tell you, I think I already talked about it in the Hina episode. Like, she was front and center with Makoto almost the entire future arc in Danganronpa 3, and she gets no character development. Zero. You know who does get character development? Makoto. And it's all character development that he got in the first game. Like, it's literally just moment after moment of Makoto falling to his knees and going, I don't think I can do this. Everything's just, it's just gone to shit. I'm just not that great. I can't do this. Some ultimate hope I turned out to be. And then Hina has to lean down and go, hey, come on, you're better than this. You are the ultimate hope. We couldn't have gotten this far without you, yada, yada, yada. And it happens like 2 or 3 times in the whole future arc. And I'm like, this is great. Makoto, you should have learned all this already. You're beyond this kind of bullshit right now in your character development. Hina, when are you going to grow as a person, please? I'm begging you, writers. Do something with her. She's right here. She had more screen time than Kyoko. And Kyoko got a little bit of development. And it's like, bro, do something with Hina. She's right there.
She used to be the #1 most popular character in Danganronpa. Do something!
God, it's shit like that, man. That's what I'm talking about. It makes me so mad. I'm like, why? Why would you do this? If you're not going to give Hina any development, don't put her front and center like that.
Right.
Maybe it was just because she was voted #1 most popular in Japan, and they were like, well, we don't have to build on her character. She's just going to get us views anyways because people are going to know that she's front and center with Makoto. Maybe that was the play. But even if that's the play, that's extremely fucking lazy, and that's pandering.
But by then it was Danganronpa 2 came out, and Junko was clearly the most popular character by then.
Junko blew up to #1 most popular after the series came to the West.
Right.
After it hit the US, interest in Junko shot her up to the top.
Yeah, and then Danganronpa 2 came out, and then Nagito became second place.
Yeah.
Because kind of hard to catch up to Junko, but Nagito fucking tried.
He's a much better character than she is, I think. But I get it. It's whatever.
I would love to see a fucking anime centered around Nagito. I'm kind of like about Junko, but if Nagito had his own goddamn anime, I would watch the shit out of it.
There's a manga series that I think I showed you before called Danganronpa 2 Ultimate Luck and Hope and Despair, and it's like the first half of Danganronpa 2 in manga form, but it's from Nagito's perspective instead of Hajime's. It's actually pretty good. Got a lot of good art in it.
Right.
But yeah. So that's our trivia on Mahiru. Jerry, you got any final thoughts on the character?
Yoko should have died in Mahiru's place, because Mahiru had that potential. Because God forbid, like I said, Yoko's not gonna fucking use it.
Yeah, it's like if you're gonna kill off Mahiru this early, then you better do something with Hiyoko, and they don't.
Right.
Because she's the only character that was like that connected to Mahiru that you could build onto off of this, and they just don't do it.
I think the same problem happened with in V3 with what's her name? Oh God, the witch lady. I forgot her name.
We've been saying Himiko. There we go.
Himiko. Yeah, Himiko. Same thing happened to Himiko, but at least...
Well, that's more of a misstep with, like, all of Chapter 3, not necessarily Himiko.
Right.
Because there's, like, multiple reasons that... I mean, I said it once, I'll say it again. You should have just had Tenko be the one who killed Angie, and then she gets killed by Seesaw Man.
Korkio, yeah.
Yeah, that would have made for much better character development on both Tenko and Himiko, and it wouldn't have come off as just a lazy cop-out of Kyo just being like, oh, I killed her too. Like,
because it would have made Korkio smart too, because he would have been like, oh yes, but I only killed Tenko.
Because like maybe he knew Tenko killed Angie, so he's like, if I kill her, they're never gonna know that I killed Tenko.
Yeah.
You know, they're gonna be looking who to pin the murder of Angie on. They're gonna think that it's the same killer, but it's not, because I killed the first one.
And also, Korkio literally asked Monokuma, "Hey, Monokuma, if someone else committed a murder during the first murder, who gets tried to be the Black End?" And Monokuma literally said, The guy who committed the first Blackened murder is going to be the person on trial.
Why
not the
even
person on
bring
second.
that point up, dude? There's so many
Yeah.
interesting routes you could have gone from Chapter 3 forward in V3, and they took the lazy cop-out route, in my opinion, and they just... I don't mind Chapter 4 and 5 and what came after Chapter 3 and V3, but it's like, that is like... there's much more interesting things you could have done.
As writers, those are the biggest heartbreaks for us. That's the biggest heartbreak for us.
Yeah.
This is just a miss. This is just a miss.
Mahiru is just like misplaced focus. They had way too much going on in Chapter 2, and instead of cutting back some of it to focus more on Mahiru before she was like gone from the game, because let's face it, even the chapter where characters die, they get some focus and some attention and sometimes even some character building before they're like actually never mentioned again from that point forward.
Yeah,
Mahiru
look at
gets
Chapter 3, for
nothing.
example. Like, Chapter 3, for example, is a perfect way of, like, getting everything, like, scattershot, but just right, because you had focus on Ibuki, you had focus on Hiyoko, you had focus on Mikan, you had literally Fuyuhiko's there, because he's building on from Chapter 2, he's trying to be a better person.
Mm-hmm.
And then, that's the better scattershot, of course. This was literally the Fuyuhiko power hour, and everyone else besides Fuyuhiko suffered for it. Which, granted, Fuyuhiko, great character, 100%. Everyone, it's just a shame that they sacrificed 3 characters to make him great.
Yeah. They could have spread his development out across more of the game and probably not wasted Mahiru so much.
Right.
So, yeah. I don't know. That's where I'm at. My final thoughts, she's a great character. Lots of wasted potential here.
Oh, you're gonna hate my score for her, though.
Well, you already said what you were going to score her, so...
No, I said I was gonna score, I already told you what I was gonna score Hiyoko, which I said 0 out of 10.
Oh.
But, 3.
3?
A 3 out of 10 for me.
I don't know, man. That's pretty low.
Well, considering the cast in this game, it's either gonna be really, really high or really, really low. There's very few, like, in-between middles.
I mean, I guess that's fair. But, like... I don't know, dude. That's pretty low. I wouldn't put her that low. TBH.
I would. I am not a simp like you guys.
Bro, I'm not a simp either. The fuck?
You're tainted by Joey's influence.
I'm not. I legitimately think she's a good character. She just doesn't get the focus that she deserved. That's my problem.
Right. And I always saw her as a background character that was like would occasionally helped out with the trial and shit like that. And had 1 or 2 good lines, and then she died, and I'm like, oh well, she's dead.
Yeah.
Oh no. Anyway.
So you're giving her a 3 out of 10. I'm going to give her a 5 out of 10. No, wait. 4. I'm going to give her a 4 out of 10. She's not around long enough for a 5. She would be a 5 if she got more development, but she just gets so wasted when she gets, like, a moment.
Right.
Funny enough, her big moment is when she gets killed, and it gets so overshadowed by everything else happening in the chapter that it makes it really hard for you to, like... I'm not surprised when people say they don't remember Mahiru. I'm just sad. Because I understand why she's forgotten. Forgotten, thank you. My brain like restarted just now. I understand why she's forgotten. It just sucks why she's forgotten because it's really to no fault of how she's written as a character. It's just there's so much other shit happening at the same time as her character growth that, like, she doesn't get any. It's so weird to me that out of all the things in Chapter 2 that are going on that they could have cut to put more focus in other areas of the writing and the story, it's so weird to me that Mahiru's character and who she was is what gets, like, mostly cut.
Right.
You wanted to keep the hour of extra dialogue of Pekko's Shining Justice bullshit, which is only mentioned once or twice prior to the murder. No, sorry, it's mentioned once prior to the murder by Sonya because she's into serial killers in the occult. She mentions it again when she sees the Shining Justice mask at the crime scene.
Right.
You could have easily just taken those 2 bits of dialogue from Sonya out, and that would have erased an entire extra hour of dialogue that goes nowhere and does nothing in Chapter 2's trial. You want to focus on Twilight Syndrome? Cool, let's do it. You don't need that extra hour to go nowhere with Peko. Put it into Mahiru.
Yeah. But you could have been, and even if you do want to focus more on Peko, you probably could have made her more devote to Fuyuhiko instead of fucking being this super, like, insane, like, serial killer motif, which turns out to be a lie anyway.
Yeah, it's so pointless. It goes nowhere. It's just like in V3 with Kyo. You figure out, like, without a doubt, and he admits to it. Okay, yes, I killed Tenko. Can we move on? And you're
Incest
like,
plot.
you're like, all right, now we gotta figure out who killed Angie and how Kyo could have done that. And then Kyo's like, well, I didn't kill Angie. And then you do a fucking, what's it called?
Scrum debate.
Yeah, you do a scrum debate to figure out if Kyo was the killer of Angie or not. And then you go through, like, an extra, like 20, 30 minutes of trial just for Kyo to turn around and go, okay, yeah, it was me. I killed them both.
Lamau for my sister.
It's like, dude, that's so pointless. Why? Why do you pad on that extra time when it goes nowhere and it means nothing?
Right.
God. I wish they would stop doing this. I hope if we do get another Danganronpa, it is devoid of missteps in character growth.
I don't
like
know.
this.
These are the same guy. The rumors are these are the same guy who've done 999, and they have the entire Ice 9 plot in the first game.
Well, yeah, but didn't you say that the next one's got better?
Oh yeah, the second game got fucking a million times better.
Well,
and
there
the
you
third
go.
one was all right.
I don't think we've got anything to worry about then.
The third one was literally just like, oh, I could see this game was fucking budgeted as hell. They had to make do what they got.
Yeah.
Which reminds me, you should still play those games.
Maybe someday. Just like someday we will play Kyo's Epic Quest for Pussy. We'll have to do... Maybe we can do that for the next off-topic, because I still haven't gotten around to fucking doing the Danganronpa Jeopardy, which I want to do someday. I just don't know when. It'll be a lot of fun, though. So, we'll figure something out. I don't even know what the next off-topic's gonna be. I have, like, no idea. We had the time, and I was like, dude, we need to do podcasts for once in our goddamn lives. And Jared was like, yeah, we do. And then we sat down and started recording, so...
Right. The question is, when is Celeste's definitive journey for pussy come out?
Dang, brother. I don't know. She doesn't quest for the pussy. She quests for the riches.
No, man. Have you ever seen Enhentai? The most famous tag for Celeste is pegging.
Damn. Alright, well. The fucking porn sites got me again, boys.
Yep.
That'll teach me for not watching anime, but you know what? It's probably for the best.
I thought you were going to say read anime, and that was going to be a whole nother level of triggered.
Come on, Jerry, you can't read anime. You can only listen to it in podcast form. Heyo!
Heyo!
Don't fucking
Subbed or dubbed?
Jesus.
Okay. Says you.
Your mama.
Well, you know what? Good night, everybody. I'm gonna walk my cripple ass with my cane and beat Dylan to death.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna go fortify my front door with a fence that is waist high so that you can't climb over it.
Fuck. literally put a baby gate there, and I'm screwed.
You try to push it over with your cane, and you're just like, oh, he put child locks on it to keep it to the wall? Oh, man. Well, I'm out of ID. Oh, God.
Dylan, open this goddamn door before I force this open with the gun I found.
With some string in this gun I found. God. Good night, everybody.
See you later, fellas.